I speak a lot about sovereignty and magnificence, which really is kind of like the persona part of our inner king or our inner queen. And reclaiming our individual sovereignty, especially right now, is so important because with when you are ruled by your own ruler who is wise, who is discriminating, you have a better time evaluating information that comes from the outside in. You are just naturally going to be less of a sheep. You are just naturally going to be you will trust the knowledge and your intuition of what you know to be true through your body. And this is an archetype, and I talk maybe indirectly about archetypes really in almost every video. Um, and what's so interesting is that they are universal. They are universal within any culture. There is always this inner regal guiding persona, the higher self, whatever you want to call it, within us, God within us. Um, and we are very often persuaded to either abdicate that throne by means of excuses or being a victim, because the responsibility of the sovereign is to rule, and it needs to rule wisely. I mean, you could be a tyrant if you want with yourself. I have been there. Or you can be overly permissive and be a weak queen. You can do that too, where and that's really abdicating your throne, where you are doing to please, not to stay, in alignment with yourself. So, what I offer you today is, where are you in your king? Where are you in your queen? If you're not on the throne, are you at least in the coronation room? So there's a lot that goes with that too. It's a big responsibility. It means that you don't get to hide because you are the final authority. It means that you are making conscious decisions. It means that you are, and if you err, you are also taking responsibility for that. You are owning what is yours. But you're also not taking on what isn't yours. So, in other words, I had a girlfriend the other day who was really having her boundaries tested, and we talked about her holding two staves. The queen or king would hold those staves in clarity. He would hold a clean boundary. He's not furious. He's not in war mode. Not that there's not a time and place to go to war, but the center of the king and queen is leadership and wisdom. And I think that, in this day and age, part of what I talk about and part of what I find so interesting, where people are really uncomfortable owning how they're magnificent, that's why I keep talking about that, is to get you comfortable with owning the sublime nature in you, because that's part and parcel. That deep belief in yourself and your gifts is not only is that expressing gratitude to God for giving them to you. He gave them to you for a reason. And then owning them, when you really embody and own them, it'll be easier for you to bring them out into the world, which is why you're here. That's not a bad question to ask yourself either. But when you do that from a state of sovereignty, it's such a more well-rounded state. The sovereign has elements of all the other archetypes. It's got the magician, right, who has creativity and knows how to present ideas. It's got the lover that has the passion and the intuitive nature to kind of flow in things. And it's got the warrior to fight the good fight, So, elements, and of course, there are shadow aspects to all of those too. And I'll talk about that in another video. But today, what I really wanted to focus on is I'd like you to do an exercise for me. I'd like you to close your eyes, and this is just 2 or 3 minutes. And I would like you to sit in your chair and embody your king or embody your queen. How do you sit? Where do you feel that feeling? Did you sit up taller? Did you want to hunch your shoulders? Do you feel it radiate from somewhere or collect somewhere? And then what does that feel like? Does it feel like pressure? Does it feel like power? See if you can start to put a name or an emotion or a color or even an image to that feeling that comes up when you sit back in that coronation hall and you look at all the aspects of yourself, which are the citizens of your castle and your domain. Where does that hit for you? And if it's a feeling that you're not used to and not comfortable with, I get it. I get it. It took me years. I would always say, don't call me queen. I'm working on it. I'm just approaching the room. I'm on the carpet, but I'm not there yet. Which really is an excuse. You have to do the work to own it. But you also have to do the work to kind of fake it till you make it. Your brain doesn't know the difference between the energy of embodying it and changing your reality. That's how you really make shifts. You make chemical and actual physical changes to the neural net in your brain through concentration, through daily reps, through connection with God. So today, Your Majesty, I invite the King and Queen to come out. And I will see you tomorrow.